Hey, this is Dave. Welcome to Backroads and Brushstrokes, where we let the road lead the way. Today we're wandering around Island Pond. We're not looking for anything in particular. Maybe a quiet back road, maybe a frozen stream, maybe a moose. No guarantees, of course, but we are in moose country. So hop on in, let's see what we can find. As you drive the back roads around here, every corner you turn has the potential for some wildlife. And as you come into Island Pond, there's a long covered footbridge that is one of the first things you see, so we decided to pull in and check it out. Yes, I was a little bit out of breath, but it was 75 steps altogether. If you're standing on this covered bridge in Island Pond, you're not just crossing railroad tracks, you're standing in the middle of railroad history. Back in the early 1900s, Island Pond was a major rail hub, sitting halfway between Montreal and Portland. At its peak, there were 13 sets of tracks running through the town, and trains rolled through day and night. So, in 1903, the town built a covered pedestrian bridge right over the rails, giving locals a safe way to cross while locomotives thundered underneath. Covered bridges weren't just charming, the roof kept snow, rain, and rot at bay, which mattered in Vermont a lot. For about 70 years, this bridge carried everyday life, rail workers, families, kids racing to see the next train, until rail traffic declined and the original bridge came down in 1973. But in 2003, the community built this covered footbridge you see today, shorter than the original, spanning just 2 tracks, but still doing exactly what it's always done, connecting the town and preserving a piece of its railroading soul. Well, I bet Nicole would like this view, maybe even be something that she'd like to paint, but she's back at the truck. Leaving Island Pond, we drove by the Essex House and Tavern, formerly known as the Clyde River Hotel. And it's been keeping secrets longer than most buildings here in Island Pond. Built during the town's railroad boom, it welcomed travelers, rail workers, and the occasional character who definitely overstayed their welcome. But the real twist? The Clyde River runs underneath the building. Yes, underneath. Flowing quietly below the floors, the hotel decided plumbing was too boring and went with something more dramatic. Guests over the years have sworn they could hear water moving at night, even when everything else was still. And then there are the stories. Doors that seem to open on their own, footsteps when no one's there, a feeling, especially upstairs, that you're not quite alone. Some say it's just an old building settling. Others say the river has a way of remembering things, and so does the hotel. Today, the Essex House stands calm and charming, but if you linger long enough and listen carefully, you might hear the Clyde River flowing below, carrying whispers from Island Pond's past. Whether it's history or haunting, well, the building isn't saying. We're heading on 105 East, which is prime moose habitat, and we've seen many here over the years, so we're still hopeful. Moose populations here fluctuate with the seasons and the forests, but they've quietly flourished in the deep woods, wetlands, and quiet back roads. Locals joke that if you don't see a moose at least once in the kingdom, you're not trying hard enough. Or maybe they're just not ready to be seen. Some folks swear that the moose around Island Pond have a knack for appearing just at dawn or dusk, blending into the trees until suddenly they're not. Tracks the size of dinner plates show up overnight, vanishing just as mysteriously a day later. Scientists track their numbers, hunters admire their paths, and everyone else drives a little slower at dusk, scanning the shadows, because in the Northeast Kingdom, the moose aren't just part of the wildlife, they're part of the wild, and they might just be watching you back. We pulled into the Wenlock Wildlife Management Area. I decided to lace up my boots and go for a walk. The name of the trail is Moose Bog Trail, so I'm hoping that is a good sign. I didn't make it all the way to the bog, and I hear it's a beautiful place, so we'll have to come back and check it out. And I didn't see any moose. I did see some tracks that I thought could be moose, but I wasn't quite sure. On the way back, I stopped to see what silence in the forest sounded like. Well, we ran into some fellow explorers that were enjoying a different kind of wildlife. The winter birds were eating right from their hands. I believe blue jays and black-capped chickadees. This was quite a sight to behold, and even Nicole got in on the action. If you enjoy wandering with us, subscribing is a quiet way to keep riding along. We stopped at the Silvio O. Conti National Wildlife Refuge Center overlooking the Nelhegan Basin. Long before maps gave it a name, the Nelhegan Basin was already busy. just quietly so. The Abenaki traveled its rivers and its wetlands, using the land with a respect that left little trace behind. Moose moved through the spruce forests, fish filled the cold waters, and the basin stayed mostly unnoticed by the outside world. Then came logging in the late 1800s. Trees fell, rail lines crept in, and the basin briefly became part of Vermont's industrial heartbeat. Logs floated down rivers, camps appeared and vanished, and when the timber was gone, the people slowly left too. What remained was space. In time, the forests returned, the wetlands healed, and the Nalhegan Basin became one of the wildest places left in Vermont. Today, protected as part of a national wildlife refuge, it feels less like land that was saved and more like land that patiently waited to be left alone again. It is icy this morning, and I almost became up close and personal with the pavement, which would have made quite the video. When winter settles into Island Pond and the surrounding area, it doesn't creep in quietly, it moves in and takes over. Snow piles up, the lake freezes solid, and suddenly the small Northeast Kingdom town transforms into a full-blown snowmobiling mecca. Trails snake out in every direction like a frozen highway system, connecting Island Pond to the rest of Vermont and Canada if you're feeling ambitious. Riders come from everywhere, chasing fresh powder, wide open stretches, and the kind of scenery that makes you forget your phone exists. In winter, Island Pond doesn't just slow down, it revs up. Snowmobilers don't just visit, they return, year after year, because once you've ridden here, everywhere else seems a little underpowered. Around here, winter isn't just something to survive, it's something to ride. We turned around and headed back towards Island Pond, as every back road we came to was either a dead end, closed, or turned into a snowmobile trail. pulled into the boat access, and yes, it was extremely icy. Island Pond, Vermont, is the kind of place that sounds like a riddle before you even arrive. Is it an island? Is it a pond? The answer, confusingly, is yes and no. Right in the middle of the lake sits a quiet island, doing absolutely nothing to explain itself. Long before railroads and road maps, the Abenaki noticed it and named the place simply for what it was, an island in a pond, like they knew future generations would overthink it. The name stuck, and no one ever bothered to change it because honestly, it works. The island has carried a little mystery. It has no houses, no trails, and no real invitation to visit. People paddle out, wander briefly, and leave with a feeling that the island prefers to be observed from a distance. When fog rolls in, the island seems to appear and disappear at will, as it reminding everyone who's really in charge. And then there's the lake itself, busy year-round because Island Pond doesn't do off-season. In summer, the water fills with boats, swimmers, and loons calls across the surface. Fall turns the shoreline into a mirror of red and gold. Winter locks the lake in ice, transforming it into a frozen highway for snowmobiles, skaters, and ice fishing. Spring breaks it all open again, like the town hitting reset. Island Pond isn't flashy. It doesn't try to impress. It just sits there, 4 seasons strong, island included, quietly daring you to figure it out. Back at the town itself, we stopped in at the Three Branches Cafe. Their Facebook page says, "Taste and experience the best of Vermont in its community-friendly culture." So we're going to check it out. We grabbed a bite to eat and a delicious maple latte. The pastries and desserts look delicious, but that'll be for another day. The staff and people there were extremely friendly and will definitely be back. We turned down a dirt road and after several miles saw a sign that said entering Newark. And I said, oops, this is the wrong episode. That was last week. So we turned around and headed back and ended up back in Island Pond again. It seems that all roads lead to Island Pond. Is that a saying? Or did I just make that up? We're still hoping to see a moose, and Nicole is still searching for something to paint. And I had an idea. We're heading back to Island Pond anyways, and Nicole hasn't seen that view from above the footbridge. So we're gonna go check that out. We headed up Mountain Street, which turned into a dirt road, and there was a parking lot for a hiking trail that goes to Bluff Mountain. So I've heard of that before, but we've never been on it. So we'll have to come back. Coming back down the hill, the church and the town come into view. And I was right. Nicole absolutely loved this view and will use it as her inspiration for her painting for this episode. Nicole's going to get started on the painting. And we are going to give this painting away as usual, but we have an idea to do something a little different. So stay tuned for future episodes on what we end up doing with this painting. If you want to see the full painting come to life, check back on Wednesdays to see a time-lapse video of the full painting. Nicole will be back in a few minutes for the final painting reveal. There was a couple more back roads we wanted to check out. We turned down the 10-mile square road, and guess what happened? We ran into another closed road and had to turn around. Did you think I was going to say we saw a moose? We entered the 10-mile square road from the other side, knowing that we were going to have to turn around, but still wanted to check it out. It was worth it. The drive back, we enjoyed a beautiful view, an old stone wall, and a heart sculpture. Nicole just finished, and this is probably my favorite painting so far. A memorable painting for a memorable day. We didn't see a moose today, which honestly feels about right. Some days searching matters more than finding. Thanks for riding along. We'll keep wandering, and we hope that you'll join us next time.